Greetings from the land down under. It's Carl from Oz here again. This is the second video that I have done. Today I'm storing them up in the vault. I thought that today I had these hanging up on a hook in this little room, and the hook is broken. So I figured I'd open these up tonight, and this is episode 3. So, a bit of a backstory. I took my grandson to get rid of the glasses. I took my grandson in October, I think. I've lost track. In October, September, October, to some college football games. He plays college football in Geelong, which is the next biggest city in Victoria, my state, and he plays gridiron. And 18 months ago, I said to him, if they ever win some sort of championship, I'd take him to America. So, of course, early in 2025, the team he was playing in, which was the Geelong team, won the National Under-16 Championship. So, of course, as soon as he came off the ground, he said, when are we going to America? And I said, okay, well, under control. So we went in September, October last year. We had a great time. We went to games at the Rose Bowl, which was UCLA. We went to, where else did we go? We went to UConn. And we went to one other, which I forget what it was, but the other one which we went to, which was absolutely amazing, was Texas A&M against Auburn. And, I'd never been to a college stadium before. It's on the campus. We got there early. It was a very, very hot day. We got into the stadium about an hour before the game, and there was no one in there. And within an hour and 20 minutes, there was 109,000 people in there. The biggest sporting event I've ever been to was a very famous Australian rules football grand final, your equivalent of the Super Bowl, in 1970, where my team, Carlton, played against arch rivals, neighbouring suburb in Melbourne, Collingwood. Carlton, the rich club, not that that relates to me, and Collingwood, the working class sloggers. Really good club, but two diametrically opposed clubs. Carlton got through to the Super Bowl, as too did Collingwood. And at half-time in the game, Carlton were 44 points behind, which is a phenomenal amount. And to this day, I don't think anyone has ever come back from 44 points behind to win, but Carlton did. And in that game, there was 121,000 people there, and that's the biggest crowd I've ever been at. Anyway, we went to the Texas A&M game. It was a great game. We actually only lasted until half-time because it was so hot. And we listened to the rest of the game on the way back to the hotel in the car. And not far from College Station, where the game was played, we went to it was to an antique shop, I think, or like a bric-a-brac shop, and I bought some of these. So now that this is off the hook, I'm going to open them up, and let's just see what's in there. In the first lot, we have, superstar. Well, I think a superstar. Brett Saberhagen, Bob Zebra from the Expos, which I don't know. Sorry. Dale Murphy of the Braves. John Mattingly of the Yanks. Mike Kingera. Don't know him, I have to say, sorry. Ken Daly of the Cardinals. Sweet Lou Whitaker of the Tigers. Darryl Strawberry of the Mets, later the Yankees. Just as a background, this will come up in another video, but just as a background, if you Google Graham Lloyd, who was an Australian player, brawl with the Orioles, if you Google that video, you'll see that Darryl Strawberry throws the greatest right-hander of all time. Great brawl. Rance Mullix, which I'm sorry, I don't know. Tom Brookins of the Tigers, I think it is. Yes, Tigers. Steve Bedrosian of the Phillies. Lee Lacey of the Orioles. Terry Kennedy of the Orioles, a great catcher. Reed Nichols, who I don't know. Dave Steeb, who I think arguably should be in the Hall of Fame, but, you know, maybe for another time, perhaps. That's the first little batch, then the second packet. Hang on, whoops, got to cut it open. Second packet, excuse me, has a checklist. Forget that. Butch Wingard of the Angels. Sorry. Mike Marshall of the Dodgers. Tom Nieto of the Twins. Don't know him, sorry. Dave Palmer of the Braves. Sorry, don't know him either. Sorry about this. It is what you get, isn't it? Astros. Jim Pankovitz. White Sox, Bill Long. Angels, Kirk McCaskill. One of the All-Stars greats, went into the Hall of Fame, I think, last year. Dave Parker, when he was at the Reds. What a super player. Mike Hart of the Orioles. Don't know him, I'm sorry. Remember, these guys all played Major League Baseball, so they weren't bad players. I had this discussion with Mike Petty 2 or 3 months ago, you know, in a jocular way, where, you know, the comment was made, you know, no, not that good. But these guys, whether they played one game or 15 years, these guys were all elite players. Eric Shaw of the Padres. Good pitcher. Kurt Ford of the Cubs. Of the Cardinals. Juan Nieves of the Brewers. Gary Thurman of the Royals. Dave Clark of the Indians. I dropped one on the floor, so let's check. Did I get him up? Yeah, Eric Shao. I've done him. Okay, one lot left. Remember, guys, if you're enjoying any of this, I'd love you to subscribe. If you don't, that's fine, but I'd love you to subscribe if you can. Next lot, Donnie Moore of the Angels. Dave McGagan of the Mets. Sorry, I don't know Dave. Nor do I know Ken Phelps of the Mariners. However, I think, little sip, I think this guy I do know. Nolan Ryan, Astros, super pitcher. You guys know all about him. Actually met him at a Texas Rangers World Series game. I think was it 2010? They lost to my Giants. I'm going to do a video about my World Series experiences later on. Nolan Ryan, one of the all-time greats. Dave Dravecky at the Giants. Now, am I right in saying that he died at a youngish age? I might be wrong about that, so if you're still alive, Dave, I do apologise. Of the Giants. Rob Ducey of the Jays. Don't know Rob, I'm sorry, but obviously a good player. Played in the MLB. Ron Robinson of the Reds. Frank Viola of the Twins. Now, did he play at one time at the... Why do I think he played at the Mets? I think he did. Not sure. Paul Nose of the Cubs. I have 5 to go. Felix Vermin of the Pirates. Going to leave him till last. Albert Hall of the Braves. Bob Stanley of the Red Sox. Tommy Hinzo of the Indians. Sorry, don't know of Tommy. Keep repeating myself. Played Major League Baseball. Most of us didn't. And the last one is Brett Boone. Now, in my first video, I made reference to Scott Miller. It's not Brett Boone, it's Bob Boone. I made reference to Scott Miller. When he wrote his book Skipper, Bob Boone is the father of Aaron Boone and Brett Boone, Aaron who is the current manager of the Yankees. Scott was a very good friend of Aaron's and did know Bob quite well, and in fact went to Bob's house to watch one of the World Series games when the Yankees were in New York in 24. Scott was too unwell to travel, so he spent the night at Bob's house watching the game with him, doing a critique on Aaron's management of that game. Apparently, Bob and Aaron used to talk literally every night after a game. where they'd go through what Aaron got right, what he got wrong, what went on in the game. So that to me is a good way to finish tonight. Let me just say, remember, what do I say? Remember, it's not about the grade of the card. It's certainly not about the price or cost of the card. It's totally all about eye appeal and how you like that card. All for now. See ya. Mango mango.